Greenland sharks are oviviparous, meaning the pups develop inside eggs that stay inside the mother's body until they're ready to be born live. Scientists believe a single litter can contain up to 10 pups, but here's the catch. Almost nobody has ever actually witnessed it happening. No one has ever documented a Greenland shark giving birth in the wild. We don't know where they do it, when they do it, or what a newborn even looks like in its natural habitat. So picture this. You're born into one of the coldest, darkest, most crushing environments on Earth, water that hovers between -1 degree Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius. That's around 30 degrees Fahrenheit to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And there is no one guiding you, no parental care, no nursery. You're on your own from second one, in a place scientists themselves can barely study. And the growth rate? Absolutely brutal. Greenland sharks grow at roughly 0.5 centimeter to 1 centimeter per year. For comparison, that's slower than your fingernails grow. At that pace, if you wanted to reach the size of a school bus, you'd be looking at centuries, not years. Here's where things get genuinely mind-bending. In a landmark study 2016 published in the journal Science, researchers led by Julius Nielsen used radiocarbon dating on the lenses of Greenland shark eyes. Because the proteins in shark eye lenses stop changing once they're formed, they act like a time capsule. Using this method, scientists estimate Greenland sharks can live for at least 272 years, with a best estimate landing between 300 and 500 years. That makes the Greenland shark the longest living vertebrate known to science. Longer than bowhead whales, longer than giant tortoises, longer than any fish, mammal, bird, or reptile we know of. Now here's the part that should make you wince. Researchers estimate Greenland sharks don't even reach sexual maturity until around 150 years old. Let that sink in. If a Greenland shark had been born the same year the United States declared independence in 1776, it would still be considered sexually immature today. It would have swum through 2 world wars, the invention of the airplane, the moon landing, and the entire rise of the internet, and biologically, it would still be a kid. Imagine being grounded for a century before your parents even consider you an adult. As if a multi-century childhood wasn't enough, most Greenland sharks live with a permanent, unwelcome passenger. A parasitic copepod called Omatacoeta elongata commonly attaches itself to the shark's cornea, the surface of the eye, and stays there for the shark's entire life. Over time, it damages the eye tissue so severely that many Greenland sharks are functionally blind, swimming through pitch-black Arctic waters with corneas clouded and scarred by a creature that treats their eyeball as a permanent home. And it's not just gross, it's basically inescapable. Scientists have found this parasite on the majority of Greenland sharks studied. There's no scratching it off, no doctor to remove it, no relief. You're just born, and at some point, something crawls onto your eye and never leaves. So how does a mostly blind shark even survive in one of the harshest environments on the planet? It cheats. Greenland sharks rely heavily on smell and electroreception, sensing the electrical fields given off by other animals, rather than sight. They're also opportunistic scavengers, feeding on carcasses of seals, fish, and even reindeer or polar bears that have fallen through ice and drowned. Stomach content studies have turned up remains of animals the shark almost certainly did not and physically could not hunt down itself, given its sluggish swimming speed of roughly 0.76 miles per hour. Yes, you read that right. This is one of the slowest swimming sharks in the ocean. Some researchers have nicknamed it the sleeper shark for exactly this reason.
Here's a twist that sounds like something out of science fiction. The Greenland shark's own flesh is toxic. To survive the crushing pressure and near-freezing temperatures of the deep Arctic, Greenland sharks accumulate extremely high concentrations of urea and a compound called trimethylamine N oxide, TMAO, in their tissue. These compounds act like natural antifreeze and pressure stabilizers, helping to keep their cells from rupturing in extreme cold and depth. The problem? If a predator or a human eats the raw flesh, that TMAO breaks down into trimethylamine, a compound that can cause symptoms similar to extreme intoxication, slurred speech, loss of coordination, and severe gastrointestinal distress. Historically, sled dogs that ate raw Greenland shark meat reportedly became so uncoordinated they couldn't stand. Locals in Greenland and Iceland referred to this as being shark drunk. In Iceland, people still eat it, but only after months of preparation. The dish, called hokarl, involves fermenting the meat and then air drying it for months to break down the toxins to safer levels. Even then, it's famous for smelling like a mixture of ammonia and a public restroom, and it's often served as a dare to tourists. So this shark isn't just slow, blind, and infested. Its own survival adaptation makes it borderline poisonous to anything that tries to eat it. Nature really said, if you can't outrun a threat, make yourself repulsive from the inside out.
Now, combine everything we've covered: near blindness, a body built like a slow-moving tank, centuries needed just to reach adulthood, and a habitat that plunges to depths of over 2,000 meters, nearly 7,000 feet, in near total darkness and sub-zero temperatures. Greenland sharks are largely solitary. There's no strong evidence of complex social behavior, no pods, no packs, just one enormous, ancient animal drifting alone through freezing darkness for centuries, guided by smell and electrical signals it can't see, waiting for the scent of a dead seal or fish to drift its way. And because they grow so slowly and mature so late, every single Greenland shark represents an enormous, fragile investment of time. A shark caught in a fishing net today might be older than most nations on Earth, and once that individual is gone, there is no quick replacement. A juvenile might need a century and a half just to become capable of reproducing. This makes the species incredibly vulnerable to even modest fishing pressure, despite how ancient and resilient the species itself has proven to be over millions of years of evolution. So yes, by almost every measure, being born a Greenland shark sounds like a nightmare. Blind, infested, slow, toxic, alone in the freezing dark for centuries before you're even considered an adult. But maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, because while nearly every other species on this planet rushes through life, growing fast, reproducing fast, dying fast, the Greenland shark has done the opposite. It has outsurvived empires, world wars, and the entire history of powered flight simply by being patient, by moving through the world so slowly and so quietly that time itself seems to slow down around it. Maybe it doesn't suck to be a Greenland shark at all. Maybe it's the rest of us who are moving too fast to understand what it's actually built for, outlasting everything.